Now, my number 10 pickup, and a lot of people might be asking, how do I replace Jalen Hurts? There is no replacing Jalen Hurts. You know that's the answer at this point. Guy was a monster, 35 on his way out. Many of you probably have the buy if you had Jalen Hurts, though. So you're just like, shit, he blows up and then he leaves me. He abandoned ship. Now, we can't have any ill will to the guy. He is an absolute monster. He got you here. But now we have to figure out what we do. There's not a lot out there, obviously, this time of the year. The first place I'd look, though, is Daniel Jones, 59% rostered. We know he can run. Vanilla Vic, or whatever they call him in the locker room there. He had 17 and 19 in 2 of his last 3 games. Last week, though, was pretty ugly, 9.9, 160 scoreless yards, not a ton of rushing yards either. So that's the risk. I mean, Daniel Jones is nothing sexy. This offense isn't great, but he gets Minnesota, the 5th most points allowed to the quarterback position. So I like that. And then he gets the Colts, the 11th most the next week. Daniel Jones won't be Jalen Hurts for you, but ultimately, this is a team with their playoff lives on the line. They have to win every week. So I could see him running in a score or 2 and getting it done. But let's say he's not out there. He got 59% roster, so there's a decent chance he's not there for you. Some of you will probably be deciding, do I go to Brock Purdy or do I go to the mustache himself, Gardner Minshew? Let me lay out the pros and cons and tell you which one I think I'd go to. Although I will say this, I actually like them both. Brock Purdy, though, he gets, pretty solid floor here. He's looked really solid, just real life wise. Like he's kept this offense humming at all. They have not really looked any worse for the wear since he took over. He had a 22-point game just 2 weeks ago. He had 17 this last week out. And, playing 3 quarters, he had 14, nearly 15 fantasy points through 3 quarters when he first took over for the injured Jimmy G. He's got weapons, bonanza around him. And this offense is just a juggernaut. Like they cannot be stopped right now. The defense, also a juggernaut. The 49ers are a buzzsaw. And so he's going to have good field position throughout the day. He's going to have weapons to just move this for him. All he has to do is distribute. And that's what he's doing really well. Completing 12 straight passes his last game out. So 2 or more touchdowns in all 3 of the games. The team loves him. You just saw George Kittle's interview last Thursday, just talking about how in training camp, Purdy was shredding the number 1 defense, the best defense in the league in camp. So the guy can get it done. Everybody around him is rallying. So I actually like Brock Purdy. I think the floor is safer. We've seen it for 3 straight weeks. That's where I would go. But if he's gone or you want to just stick to your Eagles because it's gotten it done for you, I can't blame you. Best line in the league. Then you also got a dome game. You got a big divisional matchup against a Dallas team that's reeling. 40 points allowed to the Jags last week, 23 to the abysmal Texans. And I mean, this is just a trend that we've seen with them. They've been giving up a ton of points. So the injuries mount up there. Now, last year, Minshew's game log, he had 2 starts, and they both went okay. He had 2 touchdowns in both. One of them was 19 for 33, 186 yards. That was against Dallas. Nothing special, but it was okay, 14-ish points. And then the week before that, the Jets, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, completed 20 of his 25 attempts. A beautiful game, 80% completion rate. And let's not forget, he didn't have A.J. Brown. That's a little bit important here. Think about the leap that we've seen Jalen Hurts take because of A.J. Brown here. I'm not saying Gardner Minshew is about to take some Jalen Hurtsian leap. He does not have that athleticism. But it does make an enormous difference to have a alpha wide receiver like that, where Devonta Smith can now feast upon number 2s. You got Dallas Goedert returning to the lineup. So now you got even better weapons than what Purdy's got, a better line than what Purdy's got, and okay matchups here down the stretch here for Minshew, with Dallas kicking it off this next week. So he could also be that plan. Plus you get that natural, if Jalen Hurts does buck the trend here and ends up playing, bam, you just go to him. You can cut Minshew. You don't have to worry about, do I get Purdy in first, anything of that nature. But if it's one or the other, I do think Purdy has a safer floor, and it's a similar setup for them both in terms of good lines, good weapons, good offenses. So I like them both. I think they both will get you to about 16 to 20 fantasy points, but I feel safer with Brock Purdy if you're looking for a replacement.
What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.